What's up, family? It's Mr. Moody, a.k.a. Jeff is Moody from the Jeff is Moody Show, and you are listening to Cousin Ed's Corner.
We love listening to Cousin Ed's Corner in the UK.
What's going on? What's going on, fam? It's your boy, Cousin Ed. Cousin Ed's Corner back at you again. No matter how you cut and slice it, we all here together. I'm just here to give you a piece of my heart, my mind, my soul, and my mentals. Yes, sir. It's a mouthful. That is a mouthful indeed. We're back. We're back. I am happy. Today is just a happy day for me. Y'all will understand why in a couple minutes, couple seconds, a few moments. But before we get into the show, as always, I want to thank and big up my big brother, big up Mr. Moody. Without him, I wouldn't be doing this. Big up Queen Pt1. That's my coach. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed her on the last 2 episodes ago, I believe. If not, go back into the archive and check out Queen Pt1's Pt1 Michelle Grind to Find podcast. She hosted one of my podcasts for me. Check her out. Make sure you give her support. But somebody asked me, make sure that I mention how can I be found. I can be found on any major podcasting platform you could think of. If you find one that I'm not on, please let me know, and I will work on making sure the show gets added there. Also, you can reach me at 762-333-2032. That's 762-333-2032. That's Cousin Ed's Corner. You can find me there. And lastly, I also created another page. I have TikTok now, but I created a page you can find most of my show content on. That is my Linktree page. So that's tr.ee/Cousin Ed's Corner. So that's linktr.ee/Cousin Ed's Corner. All one word. You can find me there. You'll find most of my content. So I wanted to get out of the way. Somebody said I didn't mention it last show, and I wanted to make sure that y'all had it for this show. So without further ado, I love each and every one of y'all. I want to make sure that I'm trying to lead up to this, right? This is Who Are We? And on these Who Are We's, I believe I like to bring special guests just to talk about who they are, and it helps us as a society figure out who we are. And for me, this show helps me figure out who I am and where I came from and my upbringing and my past. So, y'all know I've had my dad on the show previously, and I am fortunate enough to have another special guest with me today. I'm going to be a cornball. You gotta help me out here. I'm going to be a cornball. Listen, ready? Yes, she's my heartbeat. It's my mom. I said she already. I was gonna lead up to it a little more, but it's my mom. So, Mom, welcome to Cousin Ed's Corner. I know you've been here before. For those who haven't heard her, she's on my 9/11 Remembering 9/11 show. One of my first shows that I recorded for this platform, and she's gracious enough to come back and visit with Cousin Ed on his block, his corner. Mom, thank you very much for coming back.
You're welcome.
Now, my parents get on here and act all humble and everything. They have normal conversation with me. They get me on the phone, and they want to tell me what I'm not doing or what I need to do. She get on the phone with y'all, and you're welcome. Let's give her a round of applause for Cousin Ed's Corner. Hold on. Yes. So, Mom, once again, thank you for coming back to visit with us. I wanted to bring you on the show today. I'm doing a series, and she listens to the show. I'm not sure how many episodes she listens to, but I'm doing a series of just trying to gain history about our legacy, about our upbringing. And when I say our, I'm talking about us as a people. Luckily, I'm able to do it for myself first, and I'm able to record my mother, my father. I'm going to go down the line and try to get aunts, uncles, and try to get my kids and everybody I could think of. But not only for me, I'm doing it for the community in general. So if you have someone out there that you would love for me to interview and just get a little history or background on, please don't forget to hit me up. And I don't mind interviewing them for you. 762-333-2032. That's 762-333-2032. That's Cousin Ed's Corner. Mom, how are you doing today?
I'm well and blessed.
Thank you. And highly favored. Yes, indeed. I am blessed. I'm able to have both my mother and my father living here in Georgia. They both moved down from New York, and they both here. So I am blessed. I want to publicly thank you for sacrificing and moving down here when it was one of the biggest things, probably one of the biggest changes you had in your life. How long were you in New York before moving down?
53 years.
53 years, man, that's amazing. I'm honored just to have you down here, but I didn't know I took you. I mean, I knew you was up there forever, but I didn't remember how old you were when you came down. So I publicly want to thank you and say thank you for coming down and sacrificing some of your history, some of your time, some of your energy, some of your friends, everything you had up there to come down and be with me. So I appreciate it. So I want to talk about your upbringing. I want to talk about your past. And I had a chance to go home this weekend. I went past last weekend, matter of fact. I went past your grandmother's house, my great grandmother's house, and I was just thinking back about memories from that house. And I said it's time to do a show with you, talking about your past, talking about your upbringing. So just like with for those who listen, just like with my other Who Are We? I'm not going to get it all done in one episode. I'm just going to break it down little by little. And I heard some grumbling, right? I heard some people say, why do you stop him from talking? Because I'm trying to digest it for myself. So this show is not only for you people, my audience. This show is for me. It's my therapy. So I'm digesting a lot of it myself. So, Mom, once again, you were raised where?
In Brooklyn. When I was small, we lived on Madison Street between Bedford and No Street. I grew up there until I was around 15 years old. Went to PS3, which was a few blocks away. But growing up there, all the kids on that particular street, we had a bunch of fun, playing in the Johnny Pump Water, riding bikes, skating, and everybody knew each other parents.
Mm-hmm.
Every parent would look out for every kid, no matter what.
Mm-hmm. So this is the early 50s. No, you born 50?
I'm born 50.
50. So yeah, early 50s, New York, Madison Street. You said
Madison Street.
Madison Street. Like you said, it was a community kind of environment. Everybody was family. And were you? I know the answer, but how many siblings did you have at the time?
5.
At the time when you were born,
When I was born, I had a sister and brother.
So you're the third.
Middle child.
You're the middle, but we got 2 more coming. I'm trying to lead up to it. How many years later were the other 2 born?
6 years later.
So you had 6 years by yourself with the other 2, and for those 6 years, how was it growing up in a household with 3 people?
Oh, it was fun because I was the baby and spoiled. Everybody spoiled me.
Okay. And I know this, but my grandmother, she was from, where is she from?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Did y'all get a chance to visit down there often?
No, I went once or twice when I was smaller. And when I got older, I went twice.
Oh, so I know most people, I know for myself, maybe it's my generation, but most people went back and forth from north to south, but you said you only went twice. Did you have a lot of family from the south up in New York?
No, my mother's the only child.
Oh, okay. What about cousins and everything else?
I didn't have that many cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Mom is the only child. and she didn't have that many cousins.
Okay, so just your family, immediate family. So, like you said, your block was your community. Did you have a lot of church family and friends?
Oh yes, we had church, family, and friends. We went to church every Sunday, and the pastor was Reverend Carnegie,
Mm-hmm.
and it was on Quincy Street.
Okay. And Reverend Kaneki Church, where's Quincy Street compared to Madison?
It's the same thing, a couple of blocks over.
Mm-hmm. And were you on?
Most residential homes.
Mm-hmm. Were you and your sister and brother part of the choir? Was mine?
Yes, we was part of the choir, and I even got married there.
Okay, same church.
Same church.
So you grew up in that church and got married in the same church.
Right.
Okay, great. So growing up in the 50s, and I know it's different for the South, how much, was your whole community black? Was it a black community?
It was the black community.
Mm-hmm. Did you have to deal with many whites or any kind of racism or anything, 50s, this early 50s?
Not where I lived at.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you would go to like Bay Ridge or something like that, you have no business in that particular neighborhood. You asking for trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But since I lived in Bedford-Stuyvesant, it's 99% black.
Okay. So 99% black, Bedford-Stuyvesant, do or die, Bed-Stuy. Hold on. Let me drop an air horn for Bed-Stuy. Hold on. Y'all know I'm corny. Hold on. I know that's kind of loud in your ears, but I had to drop a air horn for Bed-Stuy. Big up Brooklyn all day long. So you're growing up in Bed-Stuy, and is this, I think, the 60s? I'm trying to remember. I wasn't there. I'm trying to listen to that. I'm trying to remember.
You wasn't even born.
I know, right? Was a lot of Black Panthers? Was a lot of Muslim Nation of Islam? Was a lot of that going on there?
It was.
Mm-hmm.
The Islam church is right at the corner where we was raised on Madison Street, and it's still there.
Okay. And were you, your brother, sister, anybody? I know my grandmother was strictly Christian Baptist. Were any of y'all participants of the?
No.
Okay. So early 50s, I believe, was Dr. King. Go ahead.
But as I, experienced, I tried Catholic. I tried Jehovah's Witness. Just curious to see what was the difference.
Mm-hmm. So we all, try to.
63 was Martin Luther King.
63, so you'd have been 13?
Yes.
So when was Malcolm X?
I mean, Malcolm X was mainly 125th Street.
No, I'm talking about when his passing. I'm trying to see how New York was at the time.
Mainly people riot, due to the fact that he was killed.
Mm-hmm.
But all that mostly happened in Manhattan, not all boroughs.
Mm-hmm. So growing up right there in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, I know you had Empire. Empire wasn't there yet, right? Empire Skating Ring. What kind of fun events and things did you have?
Empire Skating Ring was there a long time.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what year it started, but I know as a teenager, my siblings would go skating there.
Okay, so that's one of the fun events. Coney Island.
Coney Island.
What other activities
Reese
in Brooklyn?
Beach.
Reese Beach, okay.
And that's about it. That's, you got older, you go to a bigger park, what a fair churches are giving.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
What about Ebbetsville? Was
Ebbetsville, when I was young, was always big buildings.
So it was never.
It was never a ballpark there.
Okay, so it's already gone.
Right. And
Okay.
then they gave free concerts out, stuff like
Where, Evansville? You
No,
said free concerts.
yeah, in the park.
You talking about like Prospect? I'm trying to, because I have an audience from
Pros,
across the world, so I'm
pros,
trying to.
yeah, not Prospect Park. They gave concerts everywhere.
Okay.
Whatever park they decided to give the event. But mainly they gave a lot of shows at the Fox Theater.
Where,
Only old people would know that.
I'm about to ask, where was the Fox Theater at?
Downtown Brooklyn, Flatbush Extension.
Okay.
Yes.
Would it be for Brooklyn what Apollo is for Harlem?
It would be for Brooklyn, but people travel to the Apollo and to Fox Theater.
Was the Fox mainly a black theater? Or was it just a diverse theater?
It was reverse.
Okay. So it wasn't true Apollo, but it was somewhere
You mean the Fox?
I mean the Fox. I said it wasn't a true Apollo.
No, the Apollo was mainly blacks.
Okay. So where would we go? African Americans, blacks, Central. I mean native. I mean I'm saying native.
Native American.
No, not native. I'm talking about Caribbean. Our Caribbean brothers and sisters in New York. Where would we go for concerts? You saying the Fox?
They would still go to the Fox.
Okay. So now we're in the let's move it up to mid 60s. You have two twins. I mean not two twins. You have a set of twins, right?
Right.
Sisters, and it's 5 year in the household. What kind of work did your mother do? I'm saying my grandmother. What kind of work did your mother do?
She was a house cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
Then she went back to school and become a physical therapist, health at State Building of Willowbrook.
Okay. And for you as a teen, were you working also?
Well, when I was a teen, yes, I worked for the industry for blind. That was, after school on weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Then, back in those days, you didn't really have to have proof. Just say you're 18 and you could work. I worked in 3 different factories until I finished high school.
Mm-hmm. So during school, after school, and then weekends.
Right.
What kind of factory work was it?
I worked in the curtain factory. Worked in a sweater factory. And I worked in a factory that made bathrooms, things like that.
Okay. Now I want to stay right there for one moment. With the factory work, would you say where was that in Brooklyn?
It was in Brooklyn, Flushing Avenue.
Flushing Avenue. And when did you see this work? Or maybe you didn't see it or recognize it at the time. When did you see this work stop for a lot of African? I keep saying African American. A lot of Black Americans, or Black people in America.
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
Because I was still in school. When I left school, I ended up working for New York Life. I never went back looking for factory work.
Okay. The reason why I asked that, because I know that that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother show. But we see a lot of our kids now that don't have that kind of work. That kind of work shift to McDonald's and things like that. So I was just wondering, when did that work dry up and a lot of those jobs transition to overseas? So just a quick thought on my mind. But nevertheless, so you're working through high school, saving up your money. You have your brothers and sisters. Are they all working also, or just you, or how's it in the household?
No, well, everybody went to work.
Okay, everybody went to work. And was this to help the household money, just your pocket money?
Pocket money.
Okay, so your mom, and was there a gentleman, husband, or anybody at the time, or just your mom? Wait, let me ask this. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm thinking through this as I talk to you. Were you still at Madison Avenue, and was it just her by herself? Was it her? Was it your great grandmother's house, or was it? What was the structure of the household?
Oh, it was a 2-family house, and we lived on the top floor. Mommy and Willie was in the downstairs floor, and then grandma was down on the first floor.
Okay. So you was with your grandmother, your grandmother's house. Is it the same house I'm thinking of?
Yeah, 158 Madison.
Okay. So you grew up in that house.
Yeah.
Born and raised, grew up in that house.
Till I was 15.
Okay. And you saying
15, 14.
your grandmother on the first floor, your mother and Willie, her boyfriend, husband, or somebody at the time, on the second floor, and you and your siblings on the third floor?
Yes.
That's what we don't have now. We don't have that structure within our household. We have our grandmother and our great grandmothers in the house. I think it makes a difference in our society now. And it's a whole nother topic for another show, but I just want to point that out. And that's how most houses were. I know up in the north, even the south, my father said he grew up with his grandmother right there. So this is a key point of what we as society don't want to put up with. We say we got to live on our own so fast, but I think it's a key structure to our existence prior. So sorry about that PSA. Okay, so you said 14 and 15, y'all end up moving out?
Yes.
Where'd y'all move to then?
We moved to Green Avenue. Oh no, it was Gates Avenue.
Okay.
We moved to Gates Avenue.
And so then y'all all are working, going to school. What year did you graduate?
69.
69, you graduate high school. Still working in the factories at that point?
Yes.
Okay. 69. Okay. I think I brought us up to a good point. We could stop right here going to high school. No, before I leave there. How was your high school experience?
I had a good time.
Where'd you go?
I went to a vocational school. Clara Barton Vocational.
Big up Clara Barton. A lot of people frown on vocational schools. Is Clara Barton an all-girls school now?
All-girls school.
Was it all-girls back then?
It was an all-girls school then.
Okay. What were some of the studies there?
Nursing, designing, cooking. That's about all I remember. Probably
had a whole list of little list of things that you could pick up there. But were a lot of people out of that school able to get professions and jobs?
I have no idea.
Okay. The reason why I state that is because I also went to a vocational school, William E. Grady, big up Grady, and it wasn't frowned upon. It wasn't for, as they try to put today, the slower people. It was for people to come out and get jobs into the labor force. And nowadays they look down on people going to vocational schools. So I just want to see what kind of jobs came out of there, what kind of industries and careers came out of there. I left Grady with a HVAC, and before I went in, I couldn't spell HVAC, but I left out of there with heating and air conditioning. And some of the guys who I went to school with back then are retiring now. 30 years later, they're retiring from their industry that they went in school with. So I just wanted to find out, was it similar to that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so a lot of people, maybe nursing, somebody went in nursing, maybe stayed in and not.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Okay. What was it since you went to an all-girls school, I know they had a school right next door. What school was that? Prospect Heights. And big up Prospect Heights. Was there a lot of intermingling, a lot of parties between the two schools? How was your high school experience?
I have no idea, because I only socialized with a few people, and that's the way I was brought up. You don't need all these people to get yourself in trouble.
Okay. So you stayed to your community, friends, and family, and high school wasn't a big social event.
Right.
Great. So I'm going to leave it there for this part of Who Are We? Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Once again, I want to thank you, Mom, for joining us for this episode of Cousin Ed's Corner. I will definitely have you back for part 2, if you don't mind. And guys, girls, ladies, men, please be sure to share this show. I am now published on, like I said, most platforms out there, but I'm also on YouTube. So if you click YouTube, make sure you still click the show somewhere else to make sure that the consistency of the number of visitors stay up. But I'm just trying to get it out to the masses, and hopefully these conversations like this help us understand who we are as a people, as a just being here. How do we get to where we're at today? So that's the reason why I do this. I do it for myself because I'm selfish, but I also do it for you because I love you. It's your boy, Cousin Ed. Cousin Ed's Corner. I'm out of here. Have a great week.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to Cousin Ed.